This is Marketing Jam, a show featuring the brightest minds in marketing. Brought to you by Canada Post. Head to canadapost.ca/insight podcast for ideas to add value to your marketing.
All right, welcome to another episode of Marketing Jam. I am really excited today because we actually get to talk to someone who is doing marketing at a bank. And so that's always exciting because banks can be cool, right?
They sure can.
Exactly, right? And we all tend to have bank accounts unless we stuff our money in a couch or under a
under
little
your mattress
under a mattress, right? Yeah. Have you met anyone that still does that? Does the mattress
Not
stuffing?
really, no. Although my daughter keeps hers in a jar.
Yes,
so.
yes. A piggy jar or an actual jar?
Nope, like a mason jar.
Okay. So I would love to know, how did you end up in the role you're doing now? Like, was it always your dream to do marketing at a bank, or?
No, actually, I had no idea I was going to end up doing marketing at a bank. It was my senior year of high school, actually. And I was taking some marketing courses, and I ended up going to Walt Disney World for marketing internship.
Wow.
And I'd always kind of thought, I kind of want to go on the agency side. I want to work for an agency. And so when I went to Walt Disney World, I was that's where my head was at.
Yeah.
I wanted to be on the creative side and go down that path. So I got to learn a lot about their brand and how it all comes together. And it was really cool. I was really fascinated by it all. And so after high school, I decided to pursue that track. And then when I learned about the long days in agencies with limited pay to start out, I actually thought, you know what, I'm going to go corporate.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started down that path, and had a few marketing gigs in kind of my earlier years, and then ended up in professional services. Yeah. So I've worked for some of the largest accounting firms in the country as well. But then, after about 10, 15 years of being in senior marketing roles for accounting firms, I ended up moving to BDC.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah. And now those that don't know BDC, what does BDC stand for?
So BDC is the Business Development Bank of Canada.
Okay.
And so we are the only bank dedicated exclusively to entrepreneurs.
And when you say entrepreneur, how do you define an entrepreneur?
So at BDC, an entrepreneur is really, it's a business that is profitable.
Yeah.
So outside of the startup phase, but has a couple of years of forecast behind them, or a growing business model in essentially any sector. So we do focus on kind of some key sectors within the region. So manufacturing, we do a lot of work with manufacturers, food processors, as well as the tech sector. That's a big priority for us as well. We're also really big supporters of women entrepreneurs. So that's a big mandate for us as a development bank. We really do look to grow business owners and their businesses, rather than just offer loans and then just kind of walk away.
Okay, so that's where we all know about like the RBC, CIBCs, TDs, because we see the bricks and mortars around. So your differentiator is, hey, we're going to help the entrepreneurs. We have a
Essentially, we deliver value to our clients in a little bit of a different way. I mean, we're very complementary to the chartered banks as well. Yeah. So, oftentimes, we work together to make sure that the clients and the entrepreneurs are getting exactly what they need and the best product and solution for their business. So we do work very hand in hand with other banks. But what really differentiates us is not just the fact that we're dedicated to entrepreneurs and that's our sole business, but also the fact that we have advisory services. So we're not just a bank. We also provide support in terms of things like operational efficiency. If a business is looking for assistance with their sales and marketing efforts, operations, HR, that type of stuff. So we can also walk kind of alongside the entrepreneur in their journey as they're growing and evolving. So that's really something that no other bank can do.
And is that why you'd see a BDC at really unique events or business events? Because you're saying, hey, we want to find those entrepreneurs and we want to be where they are.
Exactly. So we, when we're marketing and looking to expose BDC to entrepreneurs, we really look for events and activities that can get us in front of entrepreneurs who have a need for our services, who are looking to grow and basically looking for solutions to solve their problems. Whether it's how they can export beyond Canadian borders, or leveraging e-commerce to grow their business and profitability, or even leveraging technology to solve some of their HR issues. which is a hot topic right now. So yeah, definitely, you know, we look for events and activities that get us in front of, you know, those growth-minded entrepreneurs.
Yeah. A big word in marketing these days is attribution. So how do you track attribution of where you're getting new clients from, and you know, especially with events?
Yeah. You know, the neat thing with marketing right now is more and more as marketing technologies are becoming available and these different tools that we can leverage on the back end of systems, we're really getting smarter in terms of our tracking and being able to measure ROI. So, you know, even with events, one of the things that BDC is quite diligent about is, you know, tracking the ROI and metrics around those types of things. So being able to see through our systems and our own tracking processes, with this one event, we kind of follow the group or the attendees or whoever we're trying to build the relationship with through the pipeline. So through our own systems that we have in place, we're able to nurture the clients and kind of follow them down the life cycle of the buying decision-making process.
The 7 touches, right?
Exactly. And, you know, especially in professional services or financing services, it's a longer-term strategy. So, you know, you don't meet a client and then we can't expect to sign them up the next day. It doesn't work like that. So it really is about nurturing the relationship and then really being able to monitor the touch points.
Yeah.
So the one thing we do very well at BDC is client nurturing through, you know, things like social media, content, email. We really make sure that whatever we're offering is relevant to the client or a prospect, for example.
And within BDC, is there an area that's like communications for nurturing, and then there's marketing for acquisition and bringing people in?
Exactly.
Is it a thick wall, or do you guys talk amongst yourselves?
We talk all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
because they affect each other.
Exactly. So you really can't have one without the other. You know, I think one of the trends that's kind of evolving right now in marketing is that you have kind of corporate marketers or more strategic marketers with digital marketing experts and specialists in analytics and web and who are really savvy on the tech side. You have to actually have the two teams working together to really have a sound strategy to make sure that the, you know, right brain, left brain are kind of working together.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's maybe in this year that you're excited about in the whole B2B marketing space? Like what is maybe some of the trends that you're seeing or some of the things that you're excited to try out this year? And it may not work, but experiments even maybe that you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, more and more we're continuing down the path of really customizing content for our clients, but also just entrepreneurs in general, because anybody can sign up for BDC content. You don't have to be a client of ours, which is the great thing.
So is it like white papers and webinars?
More than that, it's beyond that. Articles, white papers, reports, tools. We have a plethora of tools and resources on our website that entrepreneurs can download. So things like strategic plans, or, you know, how to do a marketing plan.
Staff review docs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's so many tools that that you can actually go to the BDC site.
And you guys have built them.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. We actually have the most content of any bank out there across the country living on our website. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a great place for entrepreneurs to go to get that kind of information. In fact, I would highly recommend they do that.
Okay.
But
and I know people have attempted it, like Shaw Resource Center had these video series they were running.
Yeah.
But then it just stopped all of a sudden because I think they just didn't see maybe they just didn't see the vision for it. So it sounds like you both have a vision for entrepreneurs, and it's going to hopefully get you some more clients as well. So there's both ends. Yeah,
I mean, in the long run, the hope is that we acquire more clients out of it for sure. But at the same time, you know, we're a resource base as well, and as a development bank, one of our mandates is to generally help Canadian entrepreneurs become the most competitive in the world. So that's really one of the things that we need to do, is to be a resource as well.
So is the federal government, are they involved in your bank then? Is that who runs it or owns it, or is it an independent?
So we are a Crown Corp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
We are a Crown Corp for sure. So I guess you could say, you know, it is the federal government that runs it.
Yeah.
But we are a standalone.
That's
entity.
really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. So not only are you there to help people, but you're mandated to help people as well. Not just help the shareholders or the bottom line all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so we really are, you know, a bank with a purpose, and we're driven by more than just profits.
Right. And speaking of purpose, you guys are a B Corp certified.
We are. We
company.
are the only B Corp certified bank.
Wow.
Yeah.
In
Canada.
In Canada.
Yeah.
And what does that mean to you? What does that mean for you as an organization?
So for us, what that means is, as I said, it's not just about the bottom line. It really is about having and building a business with purpose. So to have a greater good behind the profits. So for us, we take great pride in having an impact on our people, for example. So making BDC a great place to work. Also having an impact on our community as a whole. So, really standing behind the whole kind of philosophy behind being a B Corp is to really be a business with purpose.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So as someone in marketing and in the role that you get to play, what are some of the resources that you go to? Where are you finding like inspiration, ideas, kind of like?
Yeah, you know what? I rely primarily on the internet.
Okay.
Like, I'm constantly looking at blogs, and I find LinkedIn is a great source of information. So I'm signed up to receive some great content, and so I see that coming through my feed, and just anything that kind of inspires me or jumps out at me, I'll take the time to read through. But there's so many different avenues now that it's hard to really pinpoint any one thing. I'm in a really fortunate role that through the work that I do at BDC and the events and other things that I'm actually exposed to, either through our sponsorships or even hosting, I actually get to see a lot of cool stuff just happening around me. So I do draw a lot of inspiration and ideas just from being present at those events and then bringing it back to what I do.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So are you an iPhone or an iOS person?
iPhone.
Is there an iPhone? Okay.
Yeah.
No Android for you?
Nope.
Okay. And apps that you can't live without, like what are your go-tos every day? Maybe for work or for personal reasons?
Oh, you know what? Honestly, right now it's got to be pay by phone.
Yeah, it's awesome, right? For parking in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really rely on a ton of apps, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have your go-to like Instagram or Maps?
Yeah, Instagram would probably be one. Maps, not so much.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah. You know your way around.
I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, as far as like advice to a young marketer, right, or someone who's looking to get into the world of finance marketing, what are some advice that you'd give them? What are things that they should be doing or considering to get to the place where you are?
The world of marketing has really changed from when I was kind of coming up, and as everything evolves, the tools that we use have evolved. So, we have like digital marketing, so many platforms within what we call digital marketing now, whether it's social or web or content, and all the intelligence that goes behind fueling those. So what I would really say to a young person kind of coming up in marketing is definitely learn as much as you can about that realm of marketing and those technologies and kind of how that's all changing the world of marketing. But at the same time, I would advise them not to lose sight of this strategy and what goes into a solid marketing plan and strategy. Because like I said earlier, the two really have to go hand in hand to really be able to tell a compelling, relevant story for your end user or your customer.
And being someone on the West Coast, right? And I assume you're an Ottawa-based organization.
We're based in Montreal.
Montreal,
so head
okay,
office is Montreal.
Even cooler. You got to go there and have some poutine.
I do. It's great.
Yeah. What's it like? What are some maybe tips for someone who's maybe an offshoot of the mothership, right? Like being in marketing, right? Because sometimes it's the central headquarters. What are some things that you say to someone who's maybe on the West Coast or outside?
Dealing with a head office that's back east? Just get to know your team. Get to know the people you work with. Just maintain regular contact with them. And, it really is about, at BDC, the marketing department, the marketing team is really like a family. So we do get to have the opportunity to, connect with each other at least once every 4 or 5 months. So BDC understands the importance of that. And it's been great to, really get to know my colleagues and my teammates on the other side of the country.
That's really cool.
And for them to understand where I'm sitting in the world that I live in.
So entrepreneurs that are listening and marketers, what are you saying is like the top resources that they should go find for free on your website? What are some ones that you'd recommend?
Oh, wow.
There's probably so many, but what would you say, or maybe one or
Yeah.
two that stand out to you that you think are like you're really proud of that you guys have created?
Wow. I mean, we have done some amazing reports recently, and it really depends on the needs of the business owner. So I'm not really sure if I can pinpoint any one. I mean, for example, if right now we know there's a major shift happening in demographics, and we know that a number of people are going to be retiring in the next 10 years. So if there's an entrepreneur out there looking to sell their business, we just recently launched a study on how to, well, two studies actually. It's a 2-phase study. We just launched phase 1, which is on acquiring a business. But later this year, we'll be launching phase 2, which is about selling a business.
Nice.
So that's one I would highly recommend for anyone looking to buy, sell. We also have a great report out on Industry 4.0 and digitization, which is really useful for any company, kind of scratching their heads thinking, how do we leverage technology for our business? And what does this mean for us? Particularly if they're in the manufacturing space and there's lack of, skilled labor, that type of thing, or trying to improve efficiencies or increase profitability, technology can really come in handy. So our report on Industry 4.0 speaks to that a lot, and really gives some sort of practical solutions, like how can you incorporate technologies into your business like that and grow to the next level.
And so that Canadians can have the most competitive edge.
Exactly.
Which is really cool. I didn't know that about BDC. That's really neat.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You should go on the website and download some.
I want to check these out. I'm so curious now.
Yeah, you should.
So something I learned recently, BC, through the BC Food Processors Association, I learned that the food processors are one of the biggest industries in our province.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is, I did not think of that, but it's like the wineries, the breweries, the cheese, the fatso butter.
Yeah.
So that, and would some of those be people that you come alongside because they're entrepreneurs coming up with new products and chips, and hard bite chips is a great example, right? Like they're.
Yeah, absolutely. Food processors are in fact one of the core industries that we work with. In fact, just in a couple of weeks here, we're going to be at the Food Pro West on June 3rd, and we'll have a BDC pavilion there. But what's kind of cool, and again, these are the types of things I'm proud about and happy to do in my role, is we've actually invited 4 of our clients, like 4 local companies, to come and showcase their product in front of buyers at the trade show. So again, it's not just about BDC. It's about creating opportunities for our clients and other businesses to be able to showcase what they do best. And so we do, we walk alongside them and we support them in trying to help them reach their goals. So, but yeah, absolutely. Food processing is a big, big industry for our economy as a whole.
So as entrepreneurs or people in business, it's like, okay, I bank at Coast Capital Savings, and so I'll just open my business account there. Mm-hmm. How does someone then choose to open a bank at BDC? Do they see an image, or how do they get to that route? What are you seeing as the buyer journey typically?
So we actually don't provide checking accounts or accounts of that nature. We provide financing. So so basically anybody coming to us would be looking for some form of a loan. And we have different types of loans, anywhere from mezzanine financing to equity financing to your traditional loan. So really, what triggers them to do that? As I said, it can be kind of a multi-touch process where, they've been kind of following us for 8 or 9 months to a year, been consuming some of our content, receiving our email, articles and things like that. Or just about a month ago, I had a business center contact me to say that they had a client call them from a billboard that we were running on the highway. And it was just from that. So it's really hard to pinpoint, but it can be any number of things that they see out there.
And they're in their bank, and maybe, tell me this would happen. They say, okay, they can't get a loan with their bank, they can go to BDC, and they get a loan with benefits, would you say? Like all the bonuses of you come behind them and you support them, you get all the resources.
Yeah. And that's really driven through our people. So, they come in the door in whatever form they come in through, whatever avenue. But at the end of the day, a lot of our business is generated through the relationships as well. So it's, the connections that they have with our account managers and oftentimes they're referred to BDC from their accountant or, somebody else that they know within their business network.
EO, YPO.
Exactly. Other networks like that we're involved in too. So at the end of the day, what we offer, it can be said that it's a little bit of a commodity on the loan side of things. So, interest rates, we know some of the banks are lower or higher than others. So it can become a numbers game to some. But what really makes us stand out and what we take great pride in is the relationship that we develop with our clients.
And the resources, it sounds like.
And the resources. And so that's what, I think that's what really makes, at the end of the day, the deeper relationship where the client is actually getting value from the relationship as opposed to just, a loan that's interest bearing and funding their business for the short term.
And when the loan is done, BDC still exists to provide them with resources and support for their business.
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's a neat story in and of itself. So telling the stories of what you've done in these businesses' lives. You're able to come alongside them and almost take them up a level, right?
Yeah,
You're like the mushroom in Mario. Do you know this reference? You're small Mario, you help them get to be big Mario.
That's right, yeah.
Or are you the flower which gives them firepower? You could be one of those two things.
It just depends.
Okay. Because it's true, because you meet these entrepreneurs that are like, hey, I've hit my glass ceiling, I just need some sort of funding. So they end up on Dragon's Den or Shark's Tank or whatever show.
Yeah.
But if they just came to BDC, you could be that person without having to song and dance and in front of a group of people.
Could be. It's an option, but we are just one of many different avenues businesses can go to for financing or for funding.
They could go to Uncle Larry down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They could try, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there really are some neat stories of how we've helped entrepreneurs really follow their dreams and make their dreams come to fruition. And like you say, whether it's a company that's outgrown their space and we've helped them secure financing to take it to the next level, to increase production, and all of a sudden they're expanding globally, like that's really cool to be a part of. That whole journey, I mean, it could be anything just from a little baby step for the business owner, or like you say, it could be the firepower that explodes them into different markets.
Yeah. All right, so we have a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, marketers listening to the show and watching the show. What are the events that you'd recommend that they be at this year?
That's a good question. There's so many of them. And I find in a city like Vancouver, we can sometimes suffer from what I like to call event fatigue, because you could be at an event every night of the week. So it really has to be, for me to recommend, it has to be something that is different and unique and inspirational, but also informative, and one that you can actually meet some cool people and make some great connections at. The one that kind of ticks the boxes for me with respect to that would be an event called The Entrepreneur. And it's in its third year. It's taking place on June 20th at the Weston Bayshore this year. We happen to be a sponsor of it. But it's an amazing full-day conference of just great talks by some of the most leading entrepreneurs in our city, who've done amazing things, and I really would recommend. And the event, the way it's put on, is amazing. It's unique. It's a great day to just be out, and the vibe and the energy there is something that I think can sometimes be lacking in some of our events that happen, the business events that take place around town.
I've met Chris, the organizer.
Yeah.
And he describes it as, I'm going to do a business event that's not a business event.
Yes.
But yet attracts the business audience.
Yeah.
But is not like a stuffy, like every other event that's just a carbon copy.
Yeah.
Which is good for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the things that he said to us initially when he was pitching the event was he likes to unconference the conference. And he's been able to do that, which is great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if people are inspired, encouraged, how do they go find more information about BDC?
Well, they can go to our website,
Yep.
which is bdc.ca,
Yep.
and
That's
download what they'd like, or have a look.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Angie.
Thank
this
you.
is great from BDC. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
everyone for joining us today. Those that are listening in podcast land, those that are watching on the internets, thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week on The Marketing Jam.